Test 1, 2. In 1984, Springsteen and Prince dominated the charts. The Olympics were in... of the season. Cade Lucas is my name, and I'll be calling the action for you.
With the championship, the Australian Championship on the horizon as well. The Knights coming here with confidence, absolutely seeing off Port Melbourne 3-0 last Sunday evening. They were great. For long patches of that, they were great. They were controlled. Gully have a task on their hands tonight. Gully, this is not a position that they're well familiar, and nor should they accept, really. I mean, ultimately, injuries conspiring against them, availability is conspiring against them tonight. I'm looking forward to seeing how they rebound, because they're going to need a response, especially after last week. You don't lose 5-0. You don't lose 5-0 at home. I'm looking forward to seeing what David Chick and his Chargers here tonight can conjure up as we look to get underway through Gianluca Iannucci to take the kickoff.
Yes, Will Quartermain, the man looking after this one. Gully in their traditional green and white stripes, whilst Melbourne Knights have got their all-black away strip for this one, so no mixing up these two teams. Let's quickly go through the starting lineups as we prepare to get underway. In fact, we do get underway. So for Gully, it's Favreau at the back, Riley Byrne, Maurice Nugent, Jalil Regard, Matthew Crooks, Paul Hodges, Gianluca Iannucci, Scott Lockhead, Josh Hope, Casper Hallam and Declan Wynn. Whilst for Knights, Ben Carrigan, Thomas Karlovich, Anthony Dizelle, Steve White, Kieran Bramwell, Stephen Lawless, Fraser Dunlop, Dion Nicolaides, Chris Oldfield in goal, Kane Shepherd up top, and the Portuguese Miguel Cunha. So it is the home side going towards the left of your screen in this opening half, and Melbourne Knights going towards the right or the northern end of Gully Reserve as that ball clatters into the roof on the far side of the ground. This one of 4 NPL fixtures on this Friday night. Beautiful night for football, as you can probably see from our camera work. Not a slight breeze, but not too much. Certainly no threat of rain. Melbourne Knights looking to make a fast start. As Katie mentioned, they had a convincing win last week against Port Melbourne, and they'll be looking to frank that form here today against a Gully team who are currently rooted to the foot of the table. They're 14th. Melbourne Knights are 9th, and they could climb a bit higher depending on the outcome here as they look to go forward here early on. Intervention there by Paul Hodges, the Englishman. And it's out of play right below us. Even Franjic tosses the ball back into play. And will be Regard who gets us back underway, the big central defender with a long hoof upfield and straight out of play. Not the most edifying clearance there from Jalil Regard, Katie.
With someone of his passing range, expect a little bit more of him throughout tonight. I think he has great covering speed, great in possession. He'll want that move back, but it's a chance to rebound here for Gully. I'm liking some of this setup here from Knights. They're looking to put the pressure on early through Lawless. He's in fascinating form. He's in some absolutely fine form, but Gully look to get the turnover here.
And they have snuck in behind here, and it's Lockhead the Scot. He's in the area. He lays it across. Intervention by Carrigan. Hands on heads in the Gully bench. They saw an opening there, but the wily old defender, Ben Carrigan, just got his toe in the way. How they would love an early goal here, the Cavaliers, after what's been a torrid week. They haven't scored in the last 2 weeks. They've only scored 3 times all season. And the man responsible for 2 of those, Amir Abdullah, is out of the side with injury. And boy, do they miss him. As Knights work it down the near side, and getting forward here is Fraser Dunlop with a ball into the area. He scored last week, Dunlop. He was looking for another goal scorer from last week, Lawless there. But it didn't quite reach the Irishman, but it's gone out up onto the hill for a corner. So it will be the first corner of the evening. Just under 3.5 minutes played. Looks like it'll be Fraser Dunlop to take it. Cunha's getting around the 6-yard box. Also Carrigan looking to get on the end of it. Here comes the corner. And flying at the ball there like a man possessed. I think it might have been Josh Hope for the Cavaliers. He saw it out for another corner, so it'll be as you were. Last thing Green Gully will want is to concede early on. They were 3-0 down at half-time last week. They desperately want to avoid anything like that on this Friday night. Will Quartermain's giving the keeper Favreau a bit of a talking to.
Watch the run from deep to front.
And away we go. And again, Hope works it away, but this time it's not for another corner, and a bit of breathing space for the Gully defence, which you suspect is going to get a fair bit of a workout here this evening. Another ball into the box. Now Lockhead getting involved, and the man called Lockhead caught one on the head there, and it's a very early yellow card for Knights. It's Anthony Dizelle, the veteran, who's gone in the book, and the Scott Lockhead is holding his head.
I do apologise. I think that might be Casper Hallam there in the care of his teammates there. He is playing more up top. He is playing more to the left. More of a left, or cuts to the left, but also drifting in centrally as well. Thankfully he's up, and he's okay, thankfully. Again, I think he'll look to line up forward while Lockhead will patrol the middle of the field, I believe. Geez, but you have to think of how unavailability and how, be it injury, international duty, for example, has really cruelled Gully. Jacob Aliopoulos, of course, first game as a captain, no less, going down with an ACL injury. Again, it is a long season, so there's always time to, I guess, kind of make right, but not with moves like that. Lawless in some fine form and looking to impact the play there. This is a decent spell of possession forming for Gully. I think they need to get on the front foot. Not with moves like that, though. Brammer look to turn over here. Is in a man in fine form himself. Team of the week striker, no less. Scoring an absolute gorgeous shot on the break last week and setting up another for Fraser Dunlop, who's playing more, I think, of a withdrawn fullback role alongside Anthony Dugel on the far side. So it's not really familiar terrain for Dugel particularly, but I like his technical ability. I think he'll have a real chance to maybe cut in, maybe go like narrowly and maybe give that kind of that technical standpoint through the middle of the field and add that further control. It seems to be working so far, particularly with a tandem like White and Lawless as well. So I like the way Knights are structuring up early days. It's giving Gully a little bit of fits as Hallam in the wars once again.
I think that might actually be Lockhead. Not only are the numbers on the back very similar, and they deceived me earlier, and both Hallam and Lockhead have got very similar haircuts too, but Lockhead's a little bit taller. He is the number 11. And Lockhead, the shorter, more diminutive man playing up top, he's number 17. The Green Gully numbers not doing us too many favours, though. They've got the ball here, all they do momentarily. The attempted clearance by Boom went into the back of a Knights opponent. And now it's Hallam who's on his bike here. And he's causing the Knights defence a few problems, the speedy Tasmanian. He goes over to his lookalike Lockhead. Ricochet is into the path here of Hodges. That wasn't intended, but it almost came up trumps for Hodges, the Englishman. But it came to him a little bit too quickly and it ricocheted out of play. And it'll be Chris Oldfield who looks very fetching tonight in the fluoro yellow. You're not going to miss him. And he rolls it out. Here's White. Now Carrigan. Dazelle. Very experienced midfield pairing tonight for Melbourne Knights. Steve White and Anthony Dazelle. A lot of appearances between them as they go. Route 1 here, Knights. And it's straight into the path of Favreau in goal for Green Gully.
Yeah, absolutely. I just like that freedom that the Knights have, I think. Just they're really fluid in possession and outside of possession as well. Like you'll see Dunlop bomb forward, but also withdraw back. It becomes almost like a back three when in possession, and just allows Dazelle to cut inside and be another creative midfielder force, if you will, as Hallam links up. Skying ball over the top to the left side. Leaves Hallam a bit to do, but Lockhead breaking in here. Needs options. Iannucci now. He's got two players for company, and they seem to do well to block that out. Looks to be a call here from the referee. Gully bench really pushing for at least a card here or a free kick here. It's in a really dangerous position for Gully as the referee deals with some afters here, Cade.
Yes, Tallam is in the wars. He's gone down again. David Chick was absolutely beside himself on the bench below us. He thought that was a card, maybe even a darker coloured card. But it does look as though it's going to be a card of some sort, but... Or is it? No, the referee was pulling out the spray to mark the line for the free kick. So they do get some reward here, Gully. They do get a free kick. Knights right on the edge of the box. The five-man wall is being marched back. And this is right up the alley of Gianluca Iannucci. We've crossed 10 minutes. Green Gully have had one of the toughest weeks in their recent history. How they would love to end it by starting this match with a free kick from Iannucci. He's certainly capable. Chris Oldfield awaits. It's Iannucci, and that almost clears the fence behind the goal rather than getting on the target of the goal itself. And it's still 0-0 here at Green Gully Reserve as the floodlights begin to take effect. Gully's form to start this season certainly hasn't deterred the punters. There's a good roll up here, as you can probably see on the vision. We've got some tables and chairs and a nice setup here in front of the rooms now at Green Gully Reserve. If only the home side can give them something to cheer about. They haven't so far this season, but they've had their moments in the opening stanza of this game. Hope. Touch was a bit loose. Comes back towards Carrigan. And now Dunlop. He strokes it forward. Lawless on the end of it. Lawless. He's won a corner, the Irishman. Scored last week against Port Melbourne. And he put that into the shins of Byrne. And it's another corner from the near side for Melbourne Knights, their third.
Really is perfecting that late run into the box, isn't he, Stephen Lawless? Another attacking threat in his own right to complement Bramwell and Shepherd up top especially. He's absolutely in fine form himself. He ghosted in for a headed goal last week. He's looking for a similar result here, the corner kick to come.
Nicolaides to take it for Melbourne Knights. Not a great delivery. It'll come back to him. He'll have another go. The former Heidelberg United defender. And that's a better ball in. And it clean bowled them all. And now the Cavaliers can come away through Crooks. Runs into a bit of a cul-de-sac, Matthew Crooks, so he has to go backwards to Byrne. And now they go long towards Hamill, who's had a very busy first 10 minutes or so. Can't make anything happen here, the Tasmanian. But he's a real bundle of energy leading the line, and he's certainly giving the Knights defence all that they can handle in the first 12 and a half minutes here. They've got a throw deep in the final third here, Green Gully. Iannucci just treads a bit of water. And nothing doing here for Green Gully. It's Iannucci with the throw now. And Crooks pulls rank. Goes straight back to Iannucci. He's dispossessed by his fellow number 10, Lawless. And now Knights might go on the break.
He's got some space to move in here now to Dunlop. This is where he thrives. Good work back from the Gully, press from the Gully shape here, led by Hallam. That energy is providing, still on defence as well. They need to stay disciplined. Not a lot of space in between the lines. That's a very good side. That's a very good sign from the home side. Yeah, another corner conceded here, though. You can't allow these corners to pile up. It just begins to add that pressure on you from a defensive standpoint. It's going to test Driscoll and the Gully defence tonight. It'll be Nicolaides again to take that in-swinger from the right side. I do wonder, will we see Bramwell or Shepherd impact this one? You got Cunha lurking as well. Chance to turn the screws here and a chance to manufacture a clear chance here, Cade.
Fourth corner of the night. And again, Hope heads it away. Iannucci got rid of his opponent. He did so illegally, said Will Quartermain. And this will be a free kick now for Melbourne Knights, who are starting to rack up the set pieces.
Save again! Let's go! 33!
Looks like it'll be Kane Shepherd to take this one. Will he go for goal or will he try and find a teammate's forehead? We'll find out. He does go for goal and it's headed away by Iannucci, and that's another corner.
Interesting to note there, Coach Ivan Fanich directing Kane Shepherd to take that one. He's someone who is playing more, I think, of a withdrawn, almost a supplier role, while Bramwell is the more advanced to the top of the top two. He's done that to quite a devastating effect at different times toward certain parts of the season. We want more consistency here now as the corners to come in.
This is a high one. And eventually Green Gully work it away and get a bit of breathing space. Here's White. And his partner in crime in midfield, Dazelle. Starting to really take control of this contest now, Melbourne Knights. Cunha. Here's Shepherd, who's come upfield in the bright yellow boots. Hope, the Tasmanian, getting involved. One of two Tasmanians in this Gully side. Hamill, the other one. Both have been in the thick of the action, and Hope is again here as a free kick is blown, and it's Hope who's given it away.
How is it given the other way?
Better say David Chick's not impressed. Here's Bramwell, and he's missed that by a mile. Kieran Bramwell, the equal second leading top scorer in the competition. He's got 3, but he was nowhere near adding a 4th there. But it's the visitors who look more likely to break the deadlock at the moment. Finally, the ball kids have found one of the footballs, and we're about to get underway again here at Green Gully, where it is still 0-0 between the home side, Green Gully, currently last in the division, and Melbourne Knights, who are currently 9th. Shepherd using his big body to hold the ball up to Dazelle. Now over towards Dunlop, but a good intervention there by Regard. And the applause of his coach on the bench. Here's Iannucci now, looking for Regard, who kept running. Carrigan back there, though, cool under pressure. And Melbourne Knights in transition again.
Lawless releasing Nicolaides to that far side. Bramwell with a good turn of pace. He is onside, I believe. Chance, good block there from Driscoll. Bramwell gets across. That change of pace can be rather deadly. That transitional play, they utilised that to some really good effect last week. And almost looked a dead set replay of that. Kieran Bramwell denied with a really good save there, but that's a warning sign, a warning shot again for Green Gully. I know that they've been resolute, but they have to watch and not allow this kind of coast-to-coast play. Lawless again crucial to that. Looks like he's playing more advanced while White kind of runs that midfield too and just offers that control, absolute work rate that he provides. I really want to see Josh Hope get on the ball a little bit more here for Green Gully. Regardless, with a bit more time than I think he thought there, but just going to surrender possession back to the visitors. Well done by Hope. He wins the ball clear in possession. He might be through on goal here. He has Hallam on his side. He just takes a little bit too long there. Just Hope he covers well by Carrigan and Cunha. Still in possession here. Iannucci, it's a great ball in on the overlap. Calls for a penalty there. Close call. You would think Dunlop pushing back in, almost concede and really doubling back there. He'll concede a corner, but not a penalty, which Gully were adamant about. They need a decent spell of possession. They need that repeat pressure. Here, this is their first corner of the evening. They need to make something of it. Chris Oldfield, not much at all to do. He could have well had a cup of tea and a cigar, if you will, but here it is, a chance for Gully to make something from the set piece.
So it's Iannucci to take it. It's the first corner of the night for Green Gully. Can they make it count? Almost 20 minutes played. It's Iannucci, fizzes it in. Header by Cunha, hasn't quite cleared the danger. Byrne is up there. Now a flying shot by Hodges. Comes back out to Iannucci, who has a pop. Chris Oldfield saw it all the way, but they are posing a bit of a threat here, Gully. But as I say that, the threat might be the other end because Regard hasn't cleared, and here's Lawless. The Irishman twisting and turning. Regard recovers well, and then he loses the ball again. Game is a bit stretched at the moment. Here's Carrigan. Knights have certainly looked the more threatening, but Green Gully have had their moments. How they would love to get a goal. That would be a huge shot in the arm for them if they could at least get a goal, get a ball in the back of the net. It's been 3 weeks since they've scored. Green Gully, only 3 goals all season. They haven't scored more than once in any game so far this year.
Good talking, Scotty. Let it go backwards, Hopey. Hopey, let it go backwards. Good talking, Scotty. Well done. Excellent organisation. Work the line, man. Work the line.
Here's Wynn with the throw. Declan Wynn, the South African, who played for Port Vale in England, which is a club in Stoke City. It's famously Robbie Williams' favourite club. Here's Carrigan, long ball forward. Brainwell coming out, so too is the keeper. And it was Favreau who won that one. But again, they're riding their luck at the back a bit, Gully. Here's Lockhead now. Crooks. And that's into the crowd on the far side.
You see the way that the Gully bench and Gully supporters here this evening are really chapping at the bit when they see a block, when they see a cover like they have. They're not giving up a clear chance, which is a positive sign in the sense that, you know, they got stunned by Dandy City last week. They got caught on the hop, conceded 3 goals. They are determined not to do that here tonight. They do look like they are here for a response. They do look like they are bringing the work rate. I just think it is the other side, the attacking side, that you normally associate with Gully, funnily enough, just not quite coming to the fore here as Nicolaides tries to find Bramwell in a battle, in a bit of a tug of war on the left side. He comes out the better of it, this Nicolaides, ex-Heidelberg man. They're doing good at closing them down when they get into attack here, Gully. They're really dedicated to marking down, closing down space and just not allowing not allowing as much free rein, so they've been mindful of the transition. It's not exactly parking the bus. You would have to say it's more like a lower block and really looking to ensure the tight space between the lines. The Knights with the bulk of possession here now. Dunlop down the right side. Win for company. Goes to fire the cross, but it's Regard there to clear. Well read. Battle of the defenders here like Carrigan and Regard. Who will win out this evening? It's a tussle here. Both sides just looking for that final ball, that final pass. Declan wins to take the throw in again.
So Wynn, as I mentioned, formerly of Port Vale, but he's actually South African. He sends this one straight up and down the chimney. Here's Hope. Nice interplay this by Gully. They work it to the far side. Crooks, the lockhead. His first touch was a bit heavy, but he scampered well to get the ball back and then send it straight out of play. Scott Lockhead came via Bentley Greens. So he's done the green double from Bentley Greens to Green Gully. It's Karlovic now for Melbourne Knights. And a rugged challenge there by Byrne. And again, the Green Gully bench enjoyed that sort of stuff as they go on the front foot here. And it's Hamill. Body's getting forward for the home side. Hope, Lockhead, he'll send in the cross. He might have another go here, Lockhead. Drifting infield. And there's plenty of black shirts ahead of him. Well, there's not too many black shirts further forward. They're having to do a bit of defending here, the visitors. This is a better spell from Green Gully as we reach the halfway mark or so of this first half. All things considered, they'd be pretty pleased with the way things are turning out at the moment. At least considering the disaster that was last week. Mind you, as I say that, Byrne almost messed things up at the back. Favreau got the clearance away. Dizelle. White. All comes over towards Dunlop on the near side. Back to the safety of Ben Carrigan. Shepherd, two former Burgers, brought over by even Frandich, who himself was a Heidelberg player. Here is Kane Shepherd. That's a good ball towards Lawless. Danger here for the home side. Lawless twists and turns. Finds Dunlop. Sends the ball across, a bit too far across, though it's taken by Nicolaides. And Nicolaides wins a corner, this time from the far side for Melbourne Knights.
They look a lot better in the closed spaces, don't they? They look better in the attacking clinches, don't they? Croatia looking through Shepherd, playing those passes, getting onto the ball and just looking to link up with Lawless, who's timing those runs. That is their best, I think, option. That is their best great creativity play. That is their best attacking foray. I think you've seen corner kick to come.
Dizelle with the delivery. It's a high one, and it's headed away by Byrne. Nicolaides brought it down well, got the shot off, but it's deflected away by Green Gully, who certainly looked much tighter at the back. That's not a very high bar to clear, it must be said, but they were at 6s and 7s last week by all reports, but apart from a few hairy moments, they've been pretty resolute in defence so far tonight. And they have had a bit of work to do, particularly from set pieces. Chipped over the top by Cunha towards Shepherd. Helps it down towards Dunlop. Dizelle, Hope is in there. Good work by Hope. Tenacious wins the ball back for his team, who look to go on the move here. And that deflects right into the midriff of Ivan Frandic, who probably thought he left those types of things behind when he retired. Doesn't seem to hurt him, though. He barely flinched, the former Socceroo.
I know he's newly retired. I know he's very much new to the coaching caper, but he looks like he can go out there and go another 90 minutes easily, doesn't he? Unfazed, unflappable. This team is very much built in his image, and it's Bramwell again. Drags that shot to the left post. Looked decent. It looked like a decent hit, but just couldn't quite get that angle, just couldn't quite get that right. Closer to the Knights' edge here. They just looked the better side in possession. They just looked the better side in attack overall. As defensively stout and as defensively resolute Gully have been, which have needed to be. They have done exactly that. Half an hour nearly played here, and they've looked every bit disciplined. Absolutely. So there's no secret, I think, what that message would have been throughout training, throughout this difficult week for them. This is also a club that has survived a near relegation battle, to be honest, and very close. Seconds away relegation, but this is a side made of sterner stuff, and it's now Yanushi to lead the way forward here.
And here come Green Gully, but the flag is up before Scott Lockhead could get a shot off. Yes, you think Kieran Bramwell might be thinking back and ruining the fact that he didn't do better there. It was probably a better opportunity than maybe he first thought. The opportunity opened up for him. He had a clear path to goal. Just couldn't quite hit the target. Oldfield to Cunha. He's got Hamill harassing him. There's been 2 goals in the Heidelberg-Hume City game at the home of the Matildas. It's 1-1 there between the Burgers and Hume City. Port Melbourne playing Melbourne Victory, and Oakley hosting Dynamo St Albans. The other games this evening, 4 games on this Friday night, 3 games tomorrow. Avondale and Preston will be a beauty at the home of the Avengers tomorrow afternoon. Hope they have their water bottles filled up for that one, because it's going to be 35 degrees. It'll be a very hot afternoon there. And then tomorrow night, Dandy Thunder and South Melbourne, and Altona Magic and Dandy City. But it's here at Green Gully where the action is right now, as we cross the half-hour mark, and a ball comes into the box here for Knights, and it's Iannucci, the unlikely defender there, who heads it away for a corner and then bellows at his defenders, saying, "What were you doing?"
John, on your toes. Jackie, on your toes.
Corners have rained in to the Green Gully box so far in this first half, but none have resulted in a goal. Can Melbourne Knights change that here? It's Nicolaides who will take it again.
Win that first one. Riley, strong.
Bramwell's up there. Carrigan, all the tall timber. It's fizzed in and deflected out for another corner, it looks. Green Gully are complaining, but Will Quartermain has adjudged that that came off a Gully player last. So it's as you were.
Toes, Josh. Riley, Mo. Casper.
Cunha's up there. Kane Shepherd almost standing on the goalkeeper's toes. Bramwell a bit further out. So too Dazelle. In comes the corner again, and that was on the target and hit the goalkeeper, who I don't think knew much about it. Green Gully hanging on by a thread. And Knights come again. Karlovic with a long ball. And that's hacked out of the air there. And the flag was up anyway. I think that might have been Crooks who just got the last touch there. But Green Gully, we've been praising their defensive steel in this first half, but it got bent very out of shape there, Kate. Nearly got broken.
Very, very close quarters. Very too close for comfort there, but fantastic to see Matthew Crooks back in the lineup as well. You know, very much a versatile player, very much a bulldog, absolute bulldog of a player, someone who can run that midfield as well, someone who gives a lot, of energy, very much a disciplined player as well. Defensively, that is. He's going to be key tonight as well to this Gully defensive effort, if you will. Just looking to go turn the Gully side around and try to play through this Gully defensive shape here. Again, you can't look for passes that aren't quite there, though, so Croatia got to be careful not to play the passes. There's a freeze called back. Josh Hope. And I think he'll be yellow carded for that as well. Confirmation there from our referee, Will Quartermain, tonight. It was a challenge just through the middle. Gully. I don't know about that one. To me, it looked like he got there first. He was stronger in the challenge there. Was Josh Hope, but nevertheless, I'll have to go back. And I'll have to go back into their defensive shape. 33 minutes played here.
As David Chick has been telling the fourth official, Ross Gregory, below us, Josh Hope won the ball, got there first, and then Carrigan seemed to go down only afterwards. It was a pretty rugged challenge, though. He certainly came in at 100 miles an hour, Josh Hope. It's Knights who've got the ball, though. It's Dunlop coming in from this right-hand side. That's a great ball in. And Nicolaides at the far post has ballooned it over. They're knocking on the door ever louder here, Melbourne Knights.
The end product there from Nicolaides, just not quite on target, not what it quite needed to be there. I think he snatched the chance, but he took it first time. Can't allow themselves to get frustrated by this Gully defensive effort here, the Knights. Just got to stay focused, got to stay in the game. But the longer it is 0-0, I think the longer it is scoreless, the longer it's a stalemate, the confident Gully will be. Adisu Bayu, of course, on the bench this evening, so it'll be really exciting to see that former Western United star, Gully Youth product, no less, see what he can give this evening. A lot of Gully under 23's products on the bench here tonight. That's a very successful team in their own right over the last season. We'll see what they can do. Win forcing the issue there, but enforcing Croatia back. They'll win a throw-in, but you want to see this spell result in maybe Gully get themselves forward and knock themselves forward here. Carrigan now looking for options.
They've won it in midfield here, Green Gully. It's Crooks. Nugent over towards Wynn, two of their off-season signings, to Iannucci, who's part of the furniture here at Green Gully. Now Nugent again, he lofts it into the area. Hallam's not a tall man, but he's a real terrier. He brings it down towards his lookalike Lockhead, who turns, and that hits a Knights player. Not the arm, though, as Hallam goes down. They're appealing for a penalty. And again, the Green Gully bench are unhappy with the decision of Will Quartermain, because play on is the call. And play on Green Gully do. They've got a bit of a spring in their step here as Iannucci sends it into the area. White back towards Carrigan. Bit of a flurry here from the home side as we near half-time. How they would love to go in front. Crooks taking on Nicolaides and getting the better of him. Matthew Crooks. Iannucci. Ball sticking to his foot like it's got glue in it. Now a shot from Hodges. And Oldfield had to be at full stretch there to tip that around the post. And it's a corner for Green Gully, who suddenly have gone up a few gears here and are asking a few questions of their own. Yeah. Thanks. 8 minutes to go before half-time. Cross comes in for the Cavaliers. It's a deep one, and Nugent was there. He couldn't really do much with it. And it's out for a goal kick. Chris Oldfield in no hurry. He's seen it all before. One of the most experienced campaigners in NPL football. Not just among goalkeepers, but among players full stop. And like his fellow goalkeeper, he seems to have handed off the goal kick duties. Byrne has been taking the kicks for Green Gully, and Cunha took that one, a short one for Melbourne Knights. And he's got it again, Cunha, the Portuguese. Now it's a long crossfield pass looking for Dunlop. Wynn did well with the ball coming over his shoulder, and he swiveled and headed that ball away.
Absolutely some of Gully's best attacking moves, best attacking thrust, of course, this evening. Hallam again bringing a lot of that energy, bringing the real outlet, I think, for some of those moves. Hope and Yanucci just trying to still offer that supply. You just want to see them get more of a spell on the ball. Yanucci playing more centrally. I know that he has the ability to go onto those wing positions, but I like that central positioning for him. Gets into more of those impact areas, you'd have to think. Still has the ability to drift, of course. Ball over the top now. Lockhead to chase a little bit too much on that for him to chase down. Again, both of these sides just looking to break down these defensive walls. Defenses both in reasonable shape looking tonight. Knights coming off a clean sheet, of course, last week, a home win against Port Melbourne, so Cunha quite crucial to that, but Carrigan looking equally as assured. Again, that back three, almost a back three kind of position when in possession. Carrigan launching this one. Lawless to chase. The offside flag is up, though. He didn't quite time that. Very much eager to get forward, but you see Shepherd drop in. You see Bramwell at different times drop in and just allow that space in behind. Again, selfless, fluid ball movement, fluid in possession. You're seeing that displayed here. Going about it, I think, in the right way, the Knights. I know that results have not quite been where they've wanted it to be, but they've given themselves a solid foundation nevertheless. As Gully look to rebound here. Sending it back was Hodges, Lockhead and Hallam linking up. Hallam in a little bit of space, but that's brilliant defensive work by Karlovic. And they'll concede a free. Here, Green Gully now. Knights looking just to recycle possession once again.
5 minutes to go in the half. Very different scenario here than the last game at this venue, where Green Gully were already down and out by this stage of the game. They're still very much in this one, though. Hope you're enjoying the coverage on YouTube. Cade Lucas and Katie Lambeski with you. And it's a fascinating contest unfolding. 0-0 so far. Both sides have had opportunities. Knights have looked the better side, but not by a distance. Green Gully has certainly had their moments and have grown into the game. Knights knocking it around fluently, though, as is their style under even Frandich. Dunlop has to go all the way back to the keeper, though, and they'll start again. Last time these two teams met was at this venue late last season, and it was a 3-0 win for Melbourne Knights. It was after even Frandich took over. And it's a ball through the middle. Bramwell's on his bike here, but Favreau backpedaled and wrapped his arms around it. Ball just had a little bit too much heat on it for the Knights marksman. They've lost the ball, though, Green Gully, in a threatening area. Nothing comes of it here for Melbourne Knights. Here's Wynn. Out into open space in front of Hope. He's got Carrigan in front of him. Hope. These two came together in a rugged challenge moments ago. Both are on their feet here. Iannucci went back towards Hope, but a good intervention by Carrigan. Karlovic. He rides a challenge. And now flying in as Crook. There have been a few meaty challenges out there from both sides. A couple of yellow cards already, but has also been a game played in pretty good spirit and some pretty decent football, especially from Melbourne Knights, who, when they get their dander up, certainly do look a classy outfit the way they move the ball around. Haven't produced much in the way of end product so far, though. As the ball goes out of play right on halfway on the far side.
Move the ball, move the ball. Wider, Hopey, wider. Yes, in behind.
Here's Wynn. This way, then that away, the South African to Hope. There's Carrigan shadowing him. And now here's Hodges. And he rides a challenge and it comes out towards Hope, promising this. Hope sends the ball in. Comes back down towards Nugent. Wynn, better this from the home side. And here's Hallam, almost tripped over the ball. Iannucci pulls the trigger. Lockhead, Hope. Oh, he should have scored. Hands on heads on the Green Gully bench below us as Josh Hope just tried to caress that one into the net when he probably needed to put the laces through it.
Good googly moogly Josh Hope there. I think he had more time and more space than I think even he was aware of, but he did the work to get into that space. I think is the crucial point there. He can't allow himself to be downcast about that, Joshy Hope. I think that's clearly their best move, and when he's in those advanced position, that is when Gully, that's when Gully's best football is played, when he's getting into those advanced attacking positions, putting defenders under pressure, ditching his marker and getting into space. Interesting to see if he can get that move again. Stoppage time very much on the way. He will confirm that in a moment. Looks to be 1 minute, about a time to come. Again, a pretty continuous sort of game this evening. Good move there through the middle. Confirmation from our assistant referee today, Ross Clark. Lawless, brilliant work there to cover back and deny Hope that clear break. He opens up the space now for Shepherd. Sees Driscoll off his mark, and there's a decent crack from range there. Kane Shepherd. That's one of those shots on goal. I think only one or two this evening, but that was a brilliant effort from the marksman, from the ex-Heidelberg man. Knows what this league is all about. He has that in his arsenal. And forces Driscoll into a brilliant save here, Kate.
Talk about Josh Hope not putting the laces through it. You can't say that about Kane Shepherd. That was a howitzer. Whistled past the upright, but it took a Green Gully touch on the way through, so it's a corner from Dizelle. And it's bouncing into the path of Favreau, wraps his body around it. Not sure who got the last touch on that one, but it bounced into the path of Favreau, and that is the end of a fascinating first half here at Green Gully Reserve. And what a difference a week makes. This time last week, Green Gully walked in 3 goals down in a game they would eventually lose by 5 goals. Today, they have battled hard and they go in at the break on level pegging with a Melbourne Knights team who certainly had their chances and will probably be frustrated they're not in front. Kane Shepherd came closest late on with a powerful drive from well outside the area. They also had plenty of set pieces, including a late header.
For a lot of time. Knights, I don't think they'll be too downbeat about it. I know that they're getting the ball into decent position, but they just need that final touch, that final pass. That shot from Kane Shepherd is an absolute warning sign, of course, as well, of what he can do, just what he possesses. But at the same time, well done to Gully. defensively resolute. They needed to come out and show a much better defensive outing, a much better defensive showing than they did last week. They've done that. All to play for in the second half, and we look forward to bringing that forward to you very, very shortly.
Thank you, Katie. Yes, we'll be back in about 15 minutes here at Green Gully Reserve after the halftime break, where it is the home side, Green Gully 0, Melbourne Knights 0.
One for them as well.
Welcome back to Green Gully Reserve, where it is 0-0 between the home side and the visiting Melbourne Knights. Kate Lucas with you on YouTube alongside Katie Lambeski as we get set for the second half here of this Friday night round 6 NPL clash. Winless through 5 games for the first time in nearly 40 years and looking to avoid being winless through 6 for the first time in their history, up against a Knights team who won last week against Port Melbourne and are 9th in the table and looking to climb a bit further. They were certainly the better of the two sides in the first half. The visitors had the better chances, but Green Gully had their moments too. And it is something of a surprise that it's remained 0-0. But certainly where Green Gully have come from, 5-0 thrashing last week, they'd be very pleased that they are still in this game as we get underway in the second half. No changes that we can tell. Green Gully in the green and the white going towards the right of your screen in this second half. And they've got the ball now through Lockhead. All the way back to Regard. Now Nugent with a long crossfield ball looking for Crooks. Can't find him. It's out of play. Katie Lambeski's with me. Katie, what do you think we'll see in this second half? And also give us an idea of some events happening around the grounds. It's the first round of NPL Women's this weekend too.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking to see how the Knights go about in possession again. They just need that cutting edge. I think that's what they was missing. Hoping Yanucci lurking here, though. It's a shot in off the post. It bounces clear. Good googly moogly. Hodges there with the shot. Bounces off the post. That's exactly the start Gully would have envisioned. That's exactly the start Gully needed for this second half. You want to see them open up in a bit more of an attacking sense. As good as they were defensively, that's exactly the attacking move that they can really be capable of, and that's a really good chance to fall to Hodges in the first couple of minutes. Of course, take it quick around the grounds. Of course, it's opening night, of course, in the NPL Women's. Fantastic to have that back in our lives, of course. Spring Hills and Preston FC just about to kick off. Bentley Greens and South Melbourne drawing 1-1. Round 1, of course, opening night. We'll keep an eye on that throughout the weekend as well. Dunlop trying to release Bramwell there. Maybe a bit too soon on the pass, but Lawless is lurking, trying to win that ball back. He collects Nugent on the way through. Free not having any of it. Our man in the middle, of course, Will Quartermain, and he ends a slice of cheese for his troubles there. Does the Irishman Lawless. Might need a physio here. We've got another player down. Of course, the Knights youth product lining up a fullback this evening. A makeshift option, but is also making that position increasingly his own, isn't he? Back on his feet. Gully up and about now, just encouraging each other. Good talk around the ground. Here to take a little bit of a break. Of course, plenty of NPL Victoria action for you this evening. Port Melbourne and Melbourne Victory kicking off as well just now here at SS Anderson. Still 0-0 there, 20 minutes in. Oakley Cannons have fallen behind at Jack Edwards Reserve. St Albans Dynamo taking a 1-0 lead just 6 minutes in. It's enough to wake the home side up potentially there. That's a potential upset brewing. And Heidelberg have taken the lead at the home of the Matildas over Hume City. 2-1, 46 minutes at the 46th minute, just coming back from the second half. All happening around the grounds here, Cade.
And it was very nearly happening here at Green Gully too. Hodges going about as close to scoring as you can get without scoring, coming off the inside of the post. And they're coming again here, Green Gully. Haven't scored in 3 weeks. Ball into the area here is Hope. And he's broken the drought. Pandemonium at Green Gully Reserve. 3 weeks without a goal. A 5-0 thrashing last week. Facing their worst ever start to the season. And against the odds and against the run of play, they have taken the lead through Josh Hope. Only moments after Hodges went perilously close to putting them in front. Josh Hope has done exactly that. His first goal of the season, just Gully's 4th goal of the season. And it is Green Gully 1, Melbourne Knights 0. 50 minutes played, and we might have another upset on the books here, Kate.
It's surely forming that way. That was not the start that Knights had envisioned, but that's very much what Gully needed. Josh Hope didn't quite pull the trigger just before half-time, making no mistake about it. This time is so much Gully's talisman, very much Gully's man. When he's on form, Gully tend to be on form as well. An absolutely gorgeous pass. Latching onto that great run, breaking into the box there, Josh Hope, and beating Oldfield at the near post. Stand up, Josh Hope. That was a brilliant moment in this match, and maybe a moment in this game that we look back on as a defining one. Start to open up the space in between the lines, get Knights going just a little bit more, and not too keen to rest on their possession here. Try to force the issue. Not to say that they've been passive at all, but this is where they might need to find another gear.
It's Josh Hope's first goal of the season, his 19th of his Green Gully career. And Kate mentioned it could be a turning point in this game. It could well be a turning point in Green Gully's season, which, as we've mentioned, has not yet really started. They're currently bottom of the table. But that could just be the shot in the arm they need. Still a fair way to go, though. Melbourne Knights will have a fair bit to say. They've had their moments in this game too. They've had the vast bulk of possession, and they've gone close through the likes of Kane Shepherd and Kieran Bramwell. But that goal early in this second half will be a bit of a kick in the pants for them. How will even Freenwich's men respond here? Here's Carrigan. And he's given it away to the goal scorer, Hope, who himself has given it away to Shepherd. Cunha on the halfway line. The big Portuguese defender gallops forward. Nothing doing, though. And Green Gully will come away through the galloping Regard, right through the middle of Green Gully Reserve. And stroking it over towards Hamill. And they've got a second. They've torn Melbourne Knights asunder there, Green Gully. It's Lockhead, in fact, who scored. But they don't care who the goal scorer is here, Green Gully. It's just the fact they've got another one on the scoreboard, another one in the back of the net. 3 weeks without a goal, and they've got 2 within the space of a couple of minutes. And this game has been turned on its head. It's Green Gully 2, Melbourne Knights 0.
Turned on its head is absolutely right, Cade. Stunning blow there, landed by Gully. Jalil Regard, no less, just sweeping, freewheeling from the back. Absolutely gorgeous pass. He has that in his range, but in an attacking sense, that just proved so devastating. I don't know, maybe he's a frustrated attacker in another life, but nevertheless, that's a massive blow for the Knights, and a brilliant blow struck by Gully. Catching the Knights out once again, left, right. In quick succession, this game is turned. The momentum has changed, the atmosphere has changed, the vibe has changed. This game is sparked into life now.
Well, how will Melbourne Knights respond here? They have been floored in the first 10 minutes of this second half. Green Gully coming from the clouds with 2 goals to Josh Hope, and then that man there, Scott Lockhead. Not for the first time in this game, I got him mixed up with with Casper Hallam. They both look alike, and they're both wearing numbers which on their shirts look very similar too. But it was the Scotsman who scored there, and now he tries to find Hallam, who before this second half was one of just 2 goal scorers all season for Green Gully, along with the absent of Mir Abdullah. But now he'll be very happy to know that he's got 2 mates on the score sheet. And who knows, they could add a few more before this one's out. Melbourne Knights, they might as well still be in the change rooms. They need to wake up a bit here, even Franish's men. They won 3-0 last week, but they could find themselves on the end of a similar scoreline, as Green Gully are really running on top of the ground at the moment. Carrigan. And that's a great ball forward towards Lawless, but Liam Driscoll just got there in time. The long-time goalkeeper for Green Gully, who I was calling Favreau in the first half. The team sheet had the young under-23 keeper on it instead of the long-time shot-stopper Driscoll. Thankfully, we've been corrected at half-time as Gully almost broke through the middle there again. And they're winning all the 50-50 balls at the moment. Here's Lockhead. David Chick is suddenly loving things down on the bench below as he was bellowing at the referees and cursing at the world in the first half, but he's beside himself with joy right now. He's had a very tough time of it since coming over in the off-season from Hume City. May well enjoy this sudden turnaround from the home side. Hamill. Back towards Nugent. Knights backpedaling again here. Here's Hodges, who went close early on in this second half. They could very easily be 3 down here, Melbourne Knights. Hodges went millimetres from scoring pretty much straight from the second half kickoff when the ball came off the inside of the post. Who knows, if we had VAR, it may well have been given a goal. Here's Crooks now to Lockhead, the goal scorer. They are first to every ball here at the moment, Green Gully. The adrenaline is certainly coursing through them. Here's Crooks. Oh, he shifts it over the top of the defender. He might score. Oldfield to the rescue. Here's Lockhead. Now Iannucci. They're queuing up at the moment, the Cavaliers. All hands on deck for the Knights' defence. They are hanging on at the moment as Shepherd gives a good old-fashioned hip and shoulder to his Cavaliers opponent. And that is a yellow for Kane Shepherd. There was no Shepherd there. That was a good old-fashioned bump that you are more likely to see in another type of football. And the Gully defender, whose identity escapes us. I think it's Nugent who's down. And he's getting some help from the physio, and that allows us to catch our breath a bit. Wow, what a start to the second half.
Heavy challenge there indeed, sustained by Nugent, but he'll be back up on his feet in no time. Fantastic run by Crooks to make that chance happen just before as well, forcing Oldfield, forcing the issue there. Didn't look to pass it off. He just really, no nonsense, take the shot on, and I like that confidence in him. Brilliant move there from Crooks, just brilliant technique as well, just to beat his marker, see off his marker. It's just indicative of a side who's now have almost grown another leg nearly just as well. Confidence absolutely coming through the team now, needing to break through, needing that win, that winless streak. That would have been playing on their minds coming into tonight. You see just how they're reacting to every chance, every challenge that they take. They're fighting for every scrap tonight. No nonsense. Very much just trying to get the game back on their terms, and that's indeed what they've done. That's indeed what they've done now. Hallam leading the way up top, the goal scorer as well. There's Josh Hope, there's opening 2 goals of this half. Trying to make something happen there through Hallam again, but to no avail. It'll be a goal kick to Oldfield. Absolutely breathless start this second half, and the Knights who have been forced into a response. Again, they've got to find a way past this Gully shape now, past this Gully resolute defense, this resolute structure that they've set up. Shepherd a long way from home, just dropping in deep. That just goes to show you the effect that this press is having. It's just putting the game back on Gully's space, back in Gully's turf, locked into their half. Pressing there is Iannucci. Did well there was Dizelle. They need to get the ball into their half now. They need to surge up top, and this is a much better transitional move. Not having any of it there. Brilliant move, almost thwarted there. Gully working for every position. Hodges there.
Go, go, go!
They can't invite this press on from the Knights. The Knights can't allow Gully onto them here. I feel like they've ceded a lot of territory and momentum, and they might do so again here through Hope.
It's the Hope, the man who started it all. And a bit of interplay with Iannucci, back towards Hope, just inside the area. Now back to Iannucci. The ball deflected through, back towards Hope. Now Lockhead. Black shirts back in numbers, trying to tease their way through here, Gully. It's Hope once more. He lays it across. Nugent trying to get involved. Back towards Hodges. And eventually they win the ball back, Knights. But a good intervention there by Crooks, otherwise they're off to the races. And now Crooks and Bramwell come together right below us. And it's a free kick here for Green Gully. Crooks to Burn. An hour gone. Still no changes for either side. But there has been some changes on the scoreboard since half-time. Green Gully scoring twice in 3 minutes to change not only the complexion of this game, but maybe their entire season. Melbourne Knights suddenly really up against it, having dominated much of the first half. Here's Nicolaides. Oh, they've given it away. Hamill over towards Iannucci. He's through. This for 3. Oh, they can do no wrong. Iannucci's celebrating the goals given. And Green Gully have steamrolled Melbourne Knights in the space of 10 second half minutes. And suddenly last week seems like an eon ago. Green Gully are back in business, and don't they love it? They lead Melbourne Knights by 3-0.
Gianluca Iannucci getting on the end of that. A golden ball contender in his own right on his day, and that just goes to show you exactly that. Lockhead again proving an absolute nightmare for the Knights defence. He forces the turnover, lays it back to Iannucci. No worries at all there on the finish. Had Chris Oldfield head to rights, and that's a tough thing to do. That's a very tough task in its own right. And might have to look to the bench now. Will Ivan Franic, as the call from the Gully bench is that it doesn't stop here. And who could have called this? Who could have predicted this, given the predicament of last week? Given the form that both these sides were displaying coming into tonight. This is proving to be a red banner night for Gully. Need to maintain the momentum here, though.
They're not finished yet. They're coming forward here through Hamill. They are going for the jugular now, Green Gully. Hamill just gets his feet in a tangle. Nicolaides coming away. Hamill bites at him again, and he might have bitten off a bit more than he could chew there. He's gone in the book. But he certainly embodies the tenacity that they've shown tonight, Green Gully. They've really snapped into the challenges. They've hassled. They've tackled hard. And in that first half, when they were chasing the ball a lot, they kept to their task, and now they have reaped the rewards in this second half. And it's a damage limitation job for Melbourne Knights now, you'd think. They must be wondering what's hit them. Here's Nicolaides running into a cul-de-sac. They've hardly been in there, hardly been in Green Gully's half since half-time, Knights. It's about as far forward as they've been, and it's out for a throw. And we're going to have some changes here from Melbourne Knights. Karlovic, who suffered a knock early in the half, he's off. Masatao Chiba, the Japanese, is on. Also coming on is Mark Petholodis. Apologies for my pronunciation. And Fraser Dunlop is off. So a forward and a midfielder on for Melbourne Knights, who need to change up the script here very quickly. Otherwise, it could be they who fall to a chastening defeat. I mean, this would be pretty chastening already, 3-0, but this could yet get worse. Petholodis straight into the action. Scored 1 goal earlier this season. It was away in the OG derby at Lakeside against South Melbourne. Here's Chiba. Ball into the box here, or to the edge of the box. Nobody home though for Knights. Crooks. Lockhead to Hamill. The two lookalikes combine. Doesn't quite come back to Lockhead though. Nicolaides plays spoiler.
Go, Paul.
Lawless. Oh, he's lost the ball here, and Iannucci. Iannucci scored 1. He might go for a second here. Cunha with an important block. And no one is happier with that than Stephen Lawless, who very nearly gave away a ball that led to another goal.
Melbourne Knights getting absolutely turned over on the turnover. They've been absolutely burned by that each time. Gully exploiting that ruthlessly in this spell, in this withering burst that shows really no sign of stopping here. Quite a formidable rebound, quite a formidable response this is. Corner to come.
Lockhead to the back post. Free header. Very lackadaisical defending by Knights. Eventually Lawless hacks it away. Crooks. Oh, he keeps it in, but to the advantage of Shepherd. But Shepherd will be brought back. That ball did go out of play. Here's Knights' ball though. Cunha. Nicolaides. To Shepherd. Nothing doing tonight for Kane Shepherd. Dazelle. Iannucci over towards Hamill. Carrigan with an important intervention. Bramwell. They're just being swarmed at the moment. Green Gully just have numbers to every contest and they're winning them. Nicolaides. Hamill knocks it forward, but to no avail. And now it's Carrigan with a rare bit of breathing space here for Knights, who have been under siege since half-time, really since the 50th minute when Josh Hope scored the first goal, and that was a bit like the damn wall breaking. Since then, it has been all Green Gully. And we've still got over 20 minutes to go. You wouldn't bet against the Cavaliers getting another couple. Here's Petholodis over the top, and that sums up the lack of ideas they've had in this second half. Melbourne Knights really haven't posed any sort of attacking threat at all. Driscoll has picked up the ball now. He has been pretty much a spectator in this second half.
And Knights looking increasingly listless as a result. They're just looking to find answers, but they just aren't forthcoming here. What can they manufacture the cell immediately closed down by Yanucci and Hope. That's a standard that they're setting now on and off the ball. Trying to release Lockett, but he's got 2 for company. I don't think that's going to deter him. Again, it's in a good battle here, but he wins out. Try to get something going through Nugent. Carrigan to try and mop up and try to get through this Gully press and try to open up the play. But it's even better for Gully as they winning every 50-50 battle, aren't they? Winning every ball in dispute. Lawless tries to find Bramwell to no avail. Crooks doing well to hold up Bramwell. Battle forming there. He wins out every battle again, every 50-50 going the way of Gully. Work rate absolutely phenomenal.
We'll try and get you an update on some of the other games going on around town, both in men's and women's NPL now. As that long crossfield ball goes out of play, just shy of our commentary position here in front of the hill at Green Gully. Still no changes for Green Gully, though I think that is about to change. There is a bit of movement below us. Crooks with the throw. Hamill goes to ground. That looked like a bit of WWE stuff between him and Nicolaides. Will Quartermain says play on, though. Next week, Melbourne Knights are back at home at Tomset Stadium, where they take on Melbourne Victory this time next week, Friday night. Whilst Green Gully travel down to Paisley Park to take on Altona Magic next Saturday afternoon, and they'll do so feeling a hell of a lot better about themselves than they did going into this game, assuming they go on and win this, which they really should. 3-0 up, less than 20 minutes to play. Even the most optimistic of Cavaliers supporters probably didn't think they'd be in this position as Knights come forward. A late flurry, Shepherd with the shot. And Driscoll was up to it. That is pretty much their only foray forward in this second half. Certainly their only shot. As Green Gully prepare to make their first change. It's going to be Carlo Manzi, ex-Hume City midfielder, coming on. Nugent in midfield. And now Hodges just belts that long into the path of Oldfield. And it doesn't let it go out of play. So Emanzi is left warming up below us. He still can't get on.
Get on it, get on it, get on it, get on it, get on it!
Nicolaides. Crooks. He's embodied their commitment in this second half. Matthew Crooks. So too as Hamill. He combines with Crooks. Hamill again. Iannucci's one of the goal scorers. Lockhead. Rasping ball out wide towards Wynn. And Hope, the man who started it all. Regag. Bit of aerial ping pong by Knights, but it doesn't come to much. It's been the story of their second half. Dazelle to Bramwell has been very quiet. He finds Shepherd here, has gone close on a couple of occasions. Petheliotis, one of the substitutes, and that ball flashes across the goal face and out of play, and finally Gully can make their first change. Imanzi will come on, and it's going to be Crooks, who's been one of their best off. And it looks like Alexander Hurd will be coming into the action for Melbourne Knights. He's been a starter for a lot of this season, but coming off the bench this evening. So Amanzi on for Crooks, Stephen Lawless is off for Knights, and Hurd is on.
You might see Tom Karlovic possibly step into midfield as a result of that. Hurd to be that kind of bombing forward fullback, some fresh legs, maybe some fresh impetus, trying to sort out the defensive half is Ivan Franic, as Chris Oldfield is under a bit of an injury concern here in the hands of the trainers, and his night is officially over. Gabriel Matti replacing Oldfield in goal. Unfortunate to see a legend like that, an NPL Victoria legend like Oldfield, go off like that, but fingers crossed that he's okay. We'll keep an eye on that. I'm sure we'll receive updates throughout the week. But it's exactly maybe a possible refresh that the Knights need. They need to pull one back, try to get something out of this game. But not to this level of work rate that Gully is showing. I mean, 70% of the earth is covered by water. The rest probably covered by these Gully boys here tonight. The amount of the K's in the legs that they've put in. But this is the response. This is a phenomenal response. You couldn't quite see it coming even in the first half, could we? They were quite stagnant in possession, couldn't quite get their forward half momentum going. Hallam, Lockhead, Hope and Yanucci, crucial to that, bursting this game wide open, and the Knights have had no answers. With Carrigan, the defenders just simply still looking to carry the ball forward, but they're denied every which way, every time. Chiba now into some space. What can he do with it?
Dazelle. Gully back defending for one of the few times in this second half, as Chiba sends in the cross, doesn't quite reach Shepherd, who is there waiting. Hope has just pulled up a bit lame behind play. Looks like he's going to soldier on though. Here's Hurd, who's just come on. Dazelle. Gully dropping very deep. Dazelle has to go out wide to Nicolaides, who sends in the cross. Byrne is back there to deflect it out, and it's a corner. This harks back to the first half, which seems like a million. It was raining crosses from Melbourne Knights, and how they must rue some of those missed opportunities. But they have an opportunity here, and with just under 15 minutes to go, a goal here would just make things a bit interesting. This is a Gully team that's not used to winning. In comes the cross, and Amanzi has just come on, heads it out. Straight back to Dazelle, who sends it in again. Amanzi again. Chiba. Dazelle, another cross in. Byrne. Tall, statuesque defender, winning that one in the air. And now Nugent goes to ground. And Gully will get out of jail with the first real spell of defending they've had to do since half-time. It's Hodges, in fact, who went to ground there and picks himself up. Formerly of Basingstoke Town. A number of English and Irish players in this Green Gully lineup. Here's Byrne with a long hoof downtown. Comes towards Shepherd, now towards Bramwell. Can they get something going here, the visitors? Ethines Pethaliotis on the point of the area. And he comes, he had a shot, but it was all green and white ahead of him. Now Chiba. Pethaliotis. Fancy footwork, trying to carve a way through. He gets a ball across the area, but they haven't really been able to find anyone there. They've got some big name attackers in Bramwell and Shepherd. Shepherd's had a few shots from distance, but none of them have really been able to get into scoring areas in the box. There might be a scoring chance in the other box here as a Tamil. The keeper, Matty, has just come on, comes off his line and makes the save. Well, if anyone deserves a goal out there tonight, it's probably Casper Hamill. He has been a ball of energy right from the opening whistle. But the substitute keeper was up to the job there to keep him out, Kate.
Absolutely. Thrown right into the fire has Gabriel Marti this evening. He did really, really well there. Imanzi on the ball now. I like the introduction of him. Someone who'll push into midfield and be that additional screen, if you will. Reading the play really well. Again, very, very confident looking Green Gully side now. Adisu Bayu being ready on the Gully bench, so his introduction might be imminent as well. That'll be a fantastic homecoming for him. Had his issues with injury last season, but he'll be very much a welcome addition and very well known to this Gully crowd too. Again, it's almost as if the Knights have accepted this predicament, just meandering along to its inevitable conclusion. Hurd with all the talent in his locker looks to get the ball moving forward for Shepherd, but just not on the same wavelength there. That's kind of the sums up their night, looking for passes that aren't quite there, attacking moves that didn't quite pan out as they should have. Stefan Brecevic, of course, warming up as well, so his introduction imminent. More movement here in front of us on the broadcast side. He's battled and battled. Has Ben Carrigan this evening. Very much an NPL stalwart at this point. No mean feat. Of course, the Melbourne Victory talent as well. Just hasn't had a lot of company when the chips were down, unfortunately, for him. There's another wayward pass. Go looking to break here. Hallam just was a bit too much to do there. But he'll be able to win it back. Imanzi just trying to play in front there, but he'll concede the throw in. Brecevic now replacing Miguel Cunha in the heart of defence. Looks like he might be carrying something there, Cunha, so just a further injury toll. Chris Oldfield, of course, making way before through an injury concern. It will be Adisu Bayu replacing the opening goal scorer of this evening, Josh Hope. The Gully talisman more than doing his part here tonight. Replaced by former Gully youth in Bayu. Smart move at this point. Just good game management now from Gully. Managing the game, managing their resources. They put in a ton of work tonight. But it's going to be oh so worth it when this game ends with an inevitable 3 points to their name. Well coached and well drilled this evening, that is, of course.
Driscoll comes out. They might have the 3 points wrapped up, but they want a clean sheet too here, Green Gully. Certainly Liam Driscoll will. Last thing he wants is to concede a sloppy goal now. We're inside the final 10 minutes. Here's Bayu, who's just come on the field, full of beans. Can't get to the ball on this occasion. He might get to it now, though, on the edge of the area. Carrigan is back there, though, just to ease the pressure for Melbourne Knights. Hurd has been busy since coming on. Nicolaides to Shepherd, his former teammate at the Burgers. And that ball goes straight into the path of Driscoll, who hammers it almost into Green Gully itself. There's a bit of going through the motions about both sides now. The opportunity for Melbourne Knights to try and steal something out of this game looks to have gone. And now it's about preservation probably for both teams, and saying that, it looks like Gully might have suffered an injury of sorts here. It's Hodges who's down. Looks like a bit of cramp for the Englishman, who's been a good contributor in it tonight. It was his shot really out of nowhere just after the restart at the beginning of the second half, which almost went in for a goal, came off the inside of the post, and that sort of really set the tone for what was to come. And once they did score Gully, they did not look back. Knights have an opportunity here to at least gain some respect on the scoreboard. Hurd with the free kick. And that's out for a corner. Knights have certainly won the corner count. They've probably won a lot of the statistics this evening, except for the most important one. They've got an opportunity here to try and get on the score sheet. Cross comes in. Big, emphatic header by Byrne. Only as far as Chiba, though. That's a dangerous ball in, and Bresovic, another of the substitutes, got his head onto it. It was never troubling Driscoll. But a bit of renewed effort here from Melbourne Knights. They want to get something out of this game to hang on to before they play Melbourne Victory next week at Tomset.
Just a quick around the grounds update here as well. Heidelberg United 3-1 now over Hume City. About 80 minutes played there at the home of the Matildas. Melbourne Victory still leading Port Melbourne Sharks 1-0 early in the second half. Oakley Cannon. St Albans Dynamo at Jack Edwards says halftime approaches. All happening around the grounds. But I think no matter what happens here tonight, Green Gully are the story. Might well be the story of the round. And that's no mean feat given what is to come tomorrow with Avondale and Preston and Dandy Thunder against South Melbourne. Nevertheless, the Knights not really accepting fate here at the moment, which is a positive, I guess, just trying to pull one back. But again, just Gully just seeking to manage this one. Nothing foolish needed by them, nothing rash needed at all. Just being able to play the percentages and just being able to stay into their shape and just work behind that. Well, like a boxer very much up on the scorecards. Just working the ball around now. Chiba looking enterprising since he's come on. Just needs an option there. Not quite pulling the trigger, but he allows his teammate Nicolaides to. Shepherd and Bramwell lurking in the box, just waiting. Does well, does Shepherd, curling past in. There's Bramwell on the end of it. At the back end. At the back post, Nicolaides there lurking, but it was out of play. Couldn't quite make the most of that. As Gully look to refresh here, but it might be a bit of an injury concern to Liam Driscoll in goal there. Looks to have been injured in that save at the back post, trying to deny Nicolaides, but they'll hope he stays on and remains fully fit. He looks to come back up in just a moment. Philip Panuccio just ready to come on, one of the Gully Youth under-23s products, it should be said. Driscoll back up on his feet.
So goal kick would have been a rare occasion for both keepers to go off injured. I'm sure that's happened before, but not when I've been commentating in the NPL. It's interesting to look at the live ladder on the NPL too, because there's a bit of movement at the bottom with Melbourne Victory currently leading over Port Melbourne. That means the Sharks, as things stand, would go to the bottom, whilst Green Gully would jump up, I think, 4 or 5 spots. That'd only be a point behind Melbourne Knights. Here's a Munzi who sends it long down the line. It doesn't quite go out of play. In fact, not sure what happened there. It looked like the ball had stayed in play, but it must have gone out earlier because now it's going to be a throw for Melbourne Knights. And after all that, it is going to be another change for Green Gully with Philip Panuccio coming on. And Scott Lockhead comes off to many pats on the back from his teammates. Well deserved. One of the goal scorers as Hurd cops a heavy knock, send him flying. So Hurd has picked himself up and he's going to take the free kick here. Seconds remaining in the 90. It's Hurd. That's a good delivery. Gully haven't dealt with it convincingly. Now they do. Iannucci over his head. 6 minutes of stoppage time, so plenty of time for Knights to at least get a goal. And they're certainly having a crack. Shepherd loses the ball, and here is Adisu, who's got the fresh legs. Hamill doesn't have fresh legs, though. He's done a power of running tonight, but he's feeling it. The Green Gully forward. He is Bramwell now. He's had a tough night at the office. And it goes out of play for another throw to Hurd. Bramwell. Dazelle. White. Both of them have really struggled to make any sort of impact, certainly in this second half. White and Dazelle. Don't remember calling either of their names too often. Brezovic. Dazelle back to Brezovic. They're working their way forward here, Knights, and a shot on goal deflects into the path of O'Driscoll. And he's in no hurry, the Gully keeper. As the stoppage time ticks down, and we head closer to what will be an almighty celebration here at Green Gully Reserve. There's really been some frustration being let out here with some of the celebrations after the goals, and you can bet there will be after the final whistle too.
Yeah, absolutely. One big pressure release, one big cathartic moment here for Green Gully. The final whistle will be the illustration of that. He's always looked to get on the ball here, Hurd. Set exactly right back there by Hodges. Green Gully not letting up that phenomenal work rate. They upped the tempo, they upped the pace of this game. And then really Knights had no answers to that. The game was off their pace, the game was off their terms, and Gully just exploited that ruthlessly. Chiba now though cuts in, overlaps. Bramwell at the top of the D. Couldn't quite get the shot away, though. It was well blocked. Gully insisting on covering every blade of grass, not allowing Croatia any space, any breathing room at all. They've had to manage their own. They've had to manage their press, knowing when to stay, knowing when to go. They've just read that oh so brilliantly this second half, especially. They were keen to hold things as tight as possible throughout that first half, and they've reversed that to devastating effect here. Knights still trying, Knights still poking and prodding. A little bit of huff and puff, but no can't quite break here as Hallam. Very much on his own here, but he's making an almighty effort of it. Holding the ball up brilliantly so his teammates can run forward. He's well read by Chiba though. Pushing forward was Bayou there. Numbers against him. Shepherd again, just dropping into that space. Dion Nicolaides looking for an option there. As the ball nearly joins us here up on the commentary gantry. I got my boots ready. Put me in the game, coach. Never. Just a bit of frustration there for the Knights, just again denied by this Gully defensive effort. Add to that defensive solidity and an absolute attacking masterclass. Lightning in a bottle.
Dazelle. Can't be long to go now. Carrigan. White. Bramwell. Almost had his shirt taken off there. He was getting tugged so hard. It's been a frustrating evening for many Knights players, but probably none more so than Kieran Bramwell. Had that early shot on goal in the first half. He probably should have done better with, but after that he's hardly had a kick, certainly not in any attacking sense. And it's going to be Hurd who takes the free kick here. He's had more touches in about 15 minutes on the field than just about any other Knights player in the whole game. He's been everywhere, Hurd. Taking throws, taking free kicks, and another one here. Back towards Dazelle. Thought about winding up, but the shot was blocked. And now Gully look to go on the break. Two speedsters, Chiba and Adisu, and Chiba won that battle just. Now it's Peritholotis. Again, nifty footwork. But his attempted cross ricochets out of play. For a corner for Melbourne Knights, rather. They play Melbourne Victory next week. And they have another corner here. This might be their last hurrah to try and salvage something from what's otherwise been a pretty ugly evening at the office. Driscoll comes out to parry it away. Dazelle straight into the forehead of Byrne. And that is that. And that is a win to remember for Green Gully. After one of the toughest weeks in this club's long and proud history, they produce one of the finest wins of their long and proud history. 5-0 losers last week, 3-0 winners this week. There will be no 6-game losing streak to start a season for the first time in their history. They've avoided that, and they have got their campaign up and running. It looked tough for them early on. Melbourne Knights came here off the back of an impressive win and played like it for much of the first half and probably should have gone in ahead. Kane Shepherd had a flying shot at goal late on in the half, which just missed. But then after the break, Paul Hodge had a shot which came off the inside of the post, and that really sparked up Green Gully. Josh Hope then finally put them in front and finally scored their first goal for 3 weeks, and that sparked an avalanche. In another 2 minutes, they scored again through Scott Lockhead before Gianluca Iannucci added a third just 8 minutes later, and suddenly Melbourne Knights had been torn apart and there was not really much they could do, and everyone was wondering just what had happened. Kate, it was some evening here.
Outstanding performance from Gully. Allowed themselves the platform by breaking even at the break and then just absolutely let loose. I don't know what was said at halftime, but I just think that might have been the plan, working to absolute perfection as laid out by Chicky and the coaching staff here at Gully. Brilliant response, and now that is the standard that they've set. That is the standard that these supporters here, these members here at Gully and the coaching staff should expect from this side. Scott Lockhead, amazing. Brilliant performance, man of the match, and surely will factor into NPL Victoria Team of the Week consideration at the very, very least. Led the way, work rate. The moment of the match for me, it wasn't quite even a goal. It was when Scott Lockhead was subbed off and his teammates said, "Hell of a shift, Scotty Lockhead." So that just tells you the what he